This series of case studies will function as a conclusion of this book. You will be able to wrap up all the information that you got so far. In addition, you will be able to put that information into context using real life examples. What better way to end a book? What you need to know in order to understand this particular section of case studies is that it will follow the same structure that we have used so far. You can see it in the diagram on your left hand side if you are reading the video book, and below for those who are reading the ebook. First, for each of the case, I will talk about the symptoms. It means the various complaints that this person has brought to my attention. Next, I will do a diagnosis, which is here categorized as causes. Basically, you must find out the reason why this person is suffering those symptoms and is complaining in that particular way. Finally, once the diagnosis is complete, I will be providing the remedy for that person. The interesting thing about making a diagnosis in counseling is that it's a mutual process. Whereas in the medical field, the doctor is the all knowing person, and the patient has not much option except to accept what the doctor says and the reports say. He will not be able to provide information on the nature, the cause, and even the remedy for his ailment. On the other hand, when you do counseling, it's much more fluid, and both the counselor and the client come together to find both what is the problem and a workable solution based on a diagnosis that resonates on both sides. As I will be handling each of the cases, you will be able to understand within the framework that we have discussed and which is in the diagram. So if you are confused, take a look at the diagram on your left or below. So this is our first case of a student who is perplexed by thoughts or over thoughts of what will happen to him in his future as a professional after he finishes his studies. This is a typical counseling scenario whereby the student is so overworked in his mind with this thought and is almost paralyzed to the state where he cannot properly study. Sometimes such students refer themselves to my counseling, and other times the teachers notice a change in behavior of a good student and they refer them to me. So the symptom of this person is first observable in his marks. He will be usually performing in a lower standard than he was performing earlier. Then at the physical level, this person will be tired and almost resigned. This is because this thought of a whole life of failure ahead of him makes him so anxious. At the emotional level, this person is feeling highly insecure and is ready to make any kind of decisions that will soften that feeling of high level of insecurity. Then this is where the problem occurs at the mental level. Here I'm talking to students in general. Many of the students conclude that it's too difficult to succeed in their careers as a student because they can't even understand the particular subject that they are studying. And in the earlier days, during the school days, they were good, but now they are struggling to even understand what the teacher is teaching in the class, and they are not understanding anything from the textbook when they read at home. Then they extrapolate this situation where they don't understand and they feel so helpless in front of the books and the course that they just come to the wrong conclusions. One of the most common conclusion of this overthinking related to career that was triggered by the difficulty to study at a higher education level is that the best way to salvage one's career is move abroad. Yes, you heard it correctly. Many of the students are deciding to study abroad not because of the government policies or even because of money, but it is because they feel insecure in their career as it is presented to them in this current situation. In order to escape this heavy burden in their heads, they tend to make new plans like going to university overseas and starting all over again. They are known that the career building in a different country will not be easy, but they feel that it's better than to live a life of shame in their own country where they would be failures in their careers. That's a lot for a teenager to be thinking about, but that's the way things are. Some lesser thinking that is more or less drastic is that they will feel they will not be able to pass this particular year, and they are just overthinking about how they will be answering to their parents, to their communities. Some visualize the effect of their failure, some hear what the society will talk about them. Some even have plans to end their lives if they fail in their studies and can't build a career. That's a very heavy mental state. So, how is this mental state observable? As I told you, they will feel a lack of energy and all the symptoms that we describe, like dark patches under the eyes and slouching sore shoulders will be manifest. They will usually have relationship problems with parents and teachers. This is mainly because they are aloof and they have stopped believing in anything good can happen in their lives, even if they study. Just can't buy the secret of success that the society has been trying to sell them, like study and succeed in your career. This is because they can't study properly. Moreover, they will be able to gather evidences of highly educated people who do not have proper careers in their circle of family and friends. It's a very difficult situation that this student find himself. In this particular case, the cause of the overthinking is a fake problem. Yes, they are buying the wrong narrative that life is about money and you have to earn lots of money and studies is not important. They are contradicting philosophies in their heads playing. Whenever they just log in into the social media apps, everybody is saying that you have to be rich, and wealth is a gateway to happiness. And in order to be wealthy, you don't have to study, you just need to start a company and become the next Facebook. And there are the parents and the teachers who say that they must study. However, the education is getting so complex that they are not able to understand the course, and they are afraid of the exams. So they just cannot relate to the possibility of succeeding by studying, because they see no relation between differential calculus and becoming a billionaire. This state of contradiction and misrepresentation, which is not a conscious effort for sabotaging the mind of the youngsters by the influencers, but it still has a negative effect. So this fake problem is blown out of proportion. The real problem is that they are finding difficulty in studying, and they do not know how to study properly. And I'm talking about 80% of the students. The other 20% of the students have some kind of family problems that prevent them from studying properly. That even if those 20% of the students were able to learn properly in a way that they can understand and enjoy their studies, this particular overthinking about a career would cease to exist. Consequently, there would not be any contradiction, and they would be able to focus themselves on the present, which is the real problem. Let me give the final diagnosis. The student is not able to understand his course, and as a result is allowing himself to be influenced by fake problems of the future, where people need to be rich to be happy. So the real problem is to learn how to learn for the student part. Student must try to learn how to understand his course, and how to enjoy his studies and even the process of giving exams. Addition to that, the real problem is for the student to understand what he or she wants to do in his life based on his current interest, which might change. So this person will also need some kind of career path counseling. Lack of that is a problem. A remedy for this student who overthinks about his career thus is to accept that he doesn't know how to study properly as per the rectangle framework. From he should look for an expert in learning, or the subject that he is weak in. From he can improve his learning capacity and start to enjoy the process of studying. Other unknown in his understanding is what is the career path for him to achieve whatever is in his mind. If he wants to become a doctor, he might not know more than needing to do an MBBS degree. This way, a counselor might just provide him this information that there is a lot of competition to get a scholarship in MBBS. He already knows. He doesn't know is the alternatives that is available to him in case he doesn't get a scholarship. to study MBBS. And the expert counselor should ask him the motivation for him to become a doctor. If it is to help people, then there are so many professions that provide that potential to help other human beings. In Italy, if it has to do something with medical line, then the counselor can give examples of other professions like becoming a nurse, a dentist, psychologist, a veterinarian, and so on. Alternatively, the career expert can also give examples of people who start with the interest in the medical line, but instead choose a management career whereby they are still involved in the medical field, but in a different capacity, like administration, management, and leadership. Once the student is clear on how to learn his subjects and the direction of his career and the various options that he has, his overthinking will automatically stop and he will feel relief. Consequently, the symptoms that he came with at the beginning will disappear. Aware that I have not gone into the details of the learning strategies as well as the various career paths for various interests of students. Is because this section is not intended for such an in-depth study of these topics.